We just spoke to our new number 3 here in Brøndby. He also told us that it was quite a long period of time before this transfer was actually happening. How did you experience the whole?
It was a lengthy process for sure, but one where Chris was very much committed from the beginning and all the way throughout to join the club, and I think that's not usual because a lot of things happen in between. You are part of the pre-season and then maybe you get good feedback, so then maybe you think you want to stay. There's other clubs from Germany coming in, big clubs, and that can do something to you where you maybe change your mind or have second thoughts. But with Chris, he was always very committed that he only wants to join us, and that's, I think, very, very strong quality that hopefully this resilience and this clarity we will also see when we have him here on the pitch.
Yeah, but how was the process for you? Because you could also see time passing and
the transfer window is a little bit like gambling as well. So you have a target that you want to reach, and he was the target, and we went into this target and quickly agreed with him, and then we worked into Stuttgart. But it was always we'll need a little bit more time. Then the preseason started, and then at some point you ask yourself, okay, do I think there's a realistic chance we're going to do this, or do I wait, or do I pivot to something else? And then you have to balance the risks. You might stay on it and lose other options. Still, in this case, we gambled a little bit in terms of it being taking a little bit longer than usual, but at the end we got the target that we wanted, and I think we will always try to go for the number 1 target we have as much as we can, and then go to number 2 and 3.
And what qualities do you see in Chris? Like, why was he the target, the guy you wanted?
On this position, I think with Olivier we have a very good player. So that is currently starting, but we also want to have a high competition level in the squad on all positions. And on right back positions, with Sean now desire to leave, we naturally don't have that currently. So it was important for us that we balance that we bring in maybe a different profile, so the coach has also options to pick maybe a different quality if needed tactically, but also to give Olivier a push and them to battle each other for the position. I think that's naturally in football, and we need that. At the same time, Chris can also play the right back, but also let's say in a back 3 he can play the right position. He can play a backup 6 that he's played throughout the youth teams in Austria. So he adds a little bit more versatility, but also flexibility on the position, giving us a bit more physicality, a good balance between defensive awareness and offensive qualities. So I think it's an interesting project for us and for him.
And how far are you with the building of the squad now regarding the signings coming in?
Yeah, I think for now we've concluded, let's say, the target positions we had with the 4 signings we made, and not to forget the masterclass players we've added. They are also signings like Raf that we promoted, Oscar has been a fantastic signing, if you want to call it, because it's the internal signings are always the best ones, and then Philip Søndergaard and Lucas also returning, so that's also important to mention them.
Maybe you could say Julius as well.
Yeah, Julius also returned to loan and is a new player in a way, so it's it's the 4 external signings and then the internal signings through the loans coming back and the masterclass players. So on this side, I think we're very happy that we've concluded the things that we targeted. Of course, there's some positions where we still prepare because there's a transfer market, there's a contract situation, maybe players want to leave, maybe we get a good offer. So we need to be prepared. But right now we're not out to try to sign a player tomorrow. It's more about lining up the options that could be possible.
Yeah, and then of course you have mentioned before the players that could leave.
Yeah.
What is this process like?
Yeah.
Because some of it is out of your hands.
Yeah.
Like a little bit. So how do you work with that?
Yeah, it's a difficult one because it's also different throughout the players. Of course, a lot of it is on the agent to explore the market. We're trying to do that as well through our networks that we have individually, but also collectively. There's ways in football where there's kind of a marketplace, platforms where you can say, okay, we are interested to loan this player or to sell this player, and then other clubs can directly approach us. So, and we can also see what other clubs are looking for. So we're trying to use it the best we can to create interest and a market around the players. But of course, it needs someone to react. It needs someone to say, hey, there could be an option, give me more information. So we've currently in talks with on these players with clubs, giving out information, having discussions, and I know the players and the agents are also talking to potential clubs to maybe agree personal terms and then understand what would be the club-to-club agreement. So it's on different levels and stages, but I do feel there's a more dynamic around the players. Of course, now with the window progressing, it's still a little bit more going on now.
Yeah, because the squad is too big now.
The squad is too big, and that's for sure. I think Thomas and the coaching staff are handling that very well, respecting everyone in the right way, and still creating a strong group feeling. And I think also the guys have dealt well with accepting the roles that they currently have, which are not satisfying. But I think it's also part of professional football that you get only also paid for not being picked, which is hard, but it's part of it. So we're still satisfied with how it has been handled, but of course not satisfied with, let's say, if this will be the last day of the window.
How have you seen? We've played 3 games now of the season. How have you seen the development of the team, of the squad?
Yeah, I've seen a development. I think first and foremost the development is more about the connections the people are building between each other, coaching staff and the players in the squad with each other, the level of interaction they have on the pitch, the dialogues in training, being interested in the things that the coaching staff is trying to implement, engaging in that. So I feel there's a very strong level of collaboration, of dialogues, of wanting to understand, wanting to be part of it. So the group feeling and group dynamic is very good. And I've also seen development signs throughout. Of course, we are still in the early part of Thomas's tenure now. I think they've made it very clear on what they want from the players. And it's more about building more and more belief and getting those principles more and more into play. You can see them in phases of the play, but you can't maybe see them yet consistently, but that's also part of a natural process.
And I know you were in Horsens yesterday. There's also some building between the fans and the team as I see it right now. What do you think of the scenes we saw in Horsens yesterday?
It was fantastic. It was fantastic to see so many fans already before the match. I could only hear our fans, not only before the match, throughout. So it was fantastic scenes, and I think it's important we do our best to build the connection even more and to make them want to support this team even more. I know they will always support the club, but we want them to support this team and to identify with this team and what they represent. And I think so far the players and also the coaches and everyone has given them something that they see, they respect, and they hopefully like, and this is something we would definitely want to build up upon, because that will make this club stronger and stronger.
And I know Viaplay, TV2, just ask you about Jesper Lindstrøm. So as a fan media who loves Jesper Lindstrøm, I have to do the same. Could it be a possibility end of the window?
If I'm speaking right now with the squad we have, I would say no, because it wouldn't make sense in terms of our squad building. We just overload positions, and that's not really rational. So right now it's not a topic in terms of being something that makes sense for us. Never mind that, he's still a great player, and I know someone that everyone around the club admires really highly for the way he plays, but also the way he loves the club. I know his family is big Brøndby family, so he will always be close to us, and we will also always monitor his situation. That's for sure. Yeah.
And the last question I have regarding transfers is Patrick Pence, because he started very well after he came back. You could also try to persuade him to extend his contract and stay in Brøndby, or where does the arrow point?
Well, good question. I think he has 2 years left. I know, actually. And I think Patrick gave a really good interview, because he didn't. He said how much he likes the place, and that's really genuine. That's really what he feels. But there's also part of being a football player and having a short span of years that you are in this world, and that you can experience things. So of course, a view always sometimes goes out to just see, are there others interested in me? Is there maybe other opportunities? I think that's something that's also very, very realistic, and just how it is. Others like to say, I love this club, and I want to stay, and then they leave. That wouldn't be genuine. So I thought it was a very honest interview, So both options are possible, and both options I think would be good for Patrick, staying, but also maybe going. It depends on his desire. For us, it's about realizing that he's a top goalkeeper. So we don't have any intention to say, Patrick, please leave, not at all. But if there's an option that makes sense for all parties, where we could also feel that we can replace the quality, that's the last condition, then it could become something where everyone says, okay, then it makes sense for everyone. Right now there's nothing on the table today or tomorrow to say we go in that direction, but again, goalkeeper market is also a bit specific. If one goes out in some club, then the domino pieces fall, so we will see.
Yeah. And you also have some young players that maybe could go out. Is that also something you're working on now, or do you wait and see the end of the window?
No, there's a few young players, of course, that are maybe having backup roles in the squad, and of course you can look at it from a collective level and say, okay, for our squad, that's perfect to have them because we can rely on them. They have a good quality, they are hungry, they are good in training, and we can always throw them in and they can play. If someone gets injured, God forbid, then we have the reliability. So letting them go would weaken our squad, but if you look at it individually, you could say, okay, maybe for him right now, just playing would help. But we need to balance the individual needs with the collective needs, and so we can't maybe say yes to 4 players being loaned, but maybe to 1 or 2. It depends a little bit how the window now progresses.
Yeah, and I said last question, and then I asked 2, and then I'm going to end with the most important one, maybe for some of our viewers, because we didn't do 9 quick questions, and I will do it with you another day.
Yeah.
But pineapple on pizza or no?
No.
No?
No.
Okay.
No pineapple.
We balance the universe now. We had 2 no's today. Thank you.
From him?
Yeah. From Chris also.
Oh, that's good.
Okay.